This is the Metal Queens podcast where we celebrate the incredible women helping shape the future of hard rock and heavy music, too. Today's guest has one of the most remarkable stories you'll ever hear. She's the voice behind DieveNoire, a band blending blues, gothic atmosphere, cinematic storytelling, and heavy rock into something completely unique. Their latest single, I Don't Give a Fuck, is one of the year's most brutally honest songs, a fearless anthem about surviving betrayal, embracing authenticity, and refusing to apologize for who you are. Behind the music, Lariyah's personal journey is nothing short of extraordinary. After surviving a horrific tour accident that briefly claimed her life, she's turned unimaginable tragedy into unstoppable creative fuel. DieveNoire is preparing for one of their biggest performances yet at Rockfest 2026 in Wisconsin, sharing the stage with the Offspring, Halestorm, the Pretty Reckless, Hollywood Undead, and many more. Happy to have Lariyah join me here on the Metal Queens podcast. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So it's great to have you here, and congratulations on everything happening with DieveNoire. Does it feel like the vision you had in your head has finally become a reality for this band?
Oh, the craziest thing about this project, it is that it was supposed to be completely different. It was supposed to be just a single person project that I was supposed to just sing and just play some bass, a simple stuff, more tribal, more Slavic pagan, if you will. And then I've noticed that since I came from the world, metal and rock world, really, there was always something missing. So I figured, well, maybe I'll write another song that will just have just a little bit more different instrument in it. And then it was like like a rolling ball. It's just sorry, but this is what it is. Where we come from, it always stays with us. So it started to evolve more and more. And I started to find the musicians that started to like the direction it started to go with, which somehow it emerged more towards like bluesy rock. So I write Harley, and I love this kind of like foot stomping blues rock kind of
Yeah.
music that is, I think that kind of like a guilty pleasure of every metalhead, and you can admit it or not, but
Hmm.
it is true. So I got very infatuated with the idea of doing something different, and so this is more of kind of like an outlet to do something that we don't do on the normal day. Every single person in a band has another project as well. Most of us are touring with different bands, and it's mostly metal. Well, I mean, all of that is metal aside of DieveNoire. So yes, it is. It's a very crazy world, but this is like a fun outlet to do something cool.
The album, The Story of a Gunslinger, came out last September. Then I want to start with the name of the band, DieveNoire. Who came up with that, and what's the story behind that?
Yeah, it's me because, not only my name is hard to pronounce, so why don't I make it harder, right? Uh, so I come from a very small town in Poland called Dziwnów, which was it was a German town before the borders changed after the World War II. So in 1994, from Divenov, it has turned into Dziwnów. So the Dive was the part of the historical name, and I'm big into history. I love history. I love
Mm.
all of that. And as I was growing up in Poland, I was walking on the beach. Oh yes, I come from Baltic seashore, by the way, the very north corner of the northwestern corner of Poland, right by German border. So walking down the beach and hearing all the waves, being this 12, 13, 14-year-old goth, and all the dark ideas always came to your head. So that's why the noir came from. Yeah, so noir, obviously, it's a French word that is also close to my heart, part of the history, part of the darkness of the word alone. That I know it has nothing to do with the Polish heritage of mine, but somehow it just felt right. So that's how it stayed.
All right, let's talk about this single and a new video too. I Don't Give a Fuck. This isn't just another single, it feels deeply personal too. What was happening emotionally the night or day this song was written?
Oh man, what didn't? I think, like you mentioned, there was a lot of things that happened through my life, and not only the hardship of life has started between everything associated with work, everything with life, and everything that is happening right now in the world. We have no freedom of speech. We cannot say anything to not be blamed, accused, or censored, or anything at all. No matter what you think, there's always something to get you. And I miss that time that we could be free. We could have been just us forever. And so yeah, it came to the point of just wanting to say, you know what, I just don't give a fuck. It's just
Mm.
let's just keep moving on. Let's be who we really are. And this is what kind of gave that thought about it. And so the entire story of the gunslinger is the chase of the gunslinger who was fighting against the law, and he did not give a fuck. And after losing him, listening to all the lyrics, the person who was searching for him um, finally gave up and feels no remorse, feels no feelings really, so no emotions. And that's a kind of combination of everything. But yes, it's definitely deeply anchored into my personal feel about everything, starting from the past up until the present.
Your music, Lariyah, balances vulnerability with incredible strength too. Is that duality something you've always had, or something life forced you to develop?
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating that?
Yeah, the your music balances vulnerability with incredible strength too. Is that duality something you've always had, or something life forced you to develop to
I
incorporate
think that
both?
I think that as a musician, I keep evolving. You know, I feel like being stagnant into one way of singing or playing doesn't get you any far. So through my life, I've been already. This is my fourth band that I actually felt more than anything before, really. And so it's a combination of everything I've done before. So I started as a heavy metal singer here in Chicago, actually, for I think it was like 4 years or so. Later on, I was in more like dark or blackened, really gothic metal band, etc. Then I went back to heavy metal roots with Havren, which is still active. Hasn't been for a little bit, but is definitely going to be back to life. And this one is more of maturity. So it is more emotional. It is not just hatred, not just pointing fingers. It is more of the storytelling in between the lines. So it has a lot of me. But as far as the voice goes, I'm a very gentle flower. God damn it. So I think that I've always liked the heavy music, and but I always loved the ballads. I'm the '80s child, and I still love that era probably the most. So I'm very much so influenced by that too. So combining metal with all the softer side, I think, would started to define me. But then also finding different grounds, like the bluesy parts, like the whole outlaw blues and metal and country or anything of that. It just all together kind of gives more ideas, and finding something more unique, something more original. So yeah, it's a big mess in one bucket, but I think that this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Your story after the tour bus accident is almost unbelievable. After surviving something that traumatic, did your relationship with music completely change too?
Yeah. With music, yes, to some extent. Maybe certain bands that I used to listen to, I couldn't, or I needed to take a break, let's put it that way, because it was too many memories that
Mm.
were, associated with that accident. And also, I went into even darker side for a while when I was battling like really, really severe depression. But then when it all lightened up and seeing that, there are people that are suffering through way worse, and I was not one of those who were destined to die. So I can't just bury everything in sorrows. I need to keep going, and I have a lot of reasons for it. So, um, but yeah, music. I think. Well, I still love black metal, mm, a lot.
Mm.
But I've also softened a lot by the humbleness and the humility that I've learned while in the recovery after the accident. So it's I think musically it just opened a lot more door to be open for different influences than just what I've been lingering in before a lot of times. So
When you've literally been given another chance at life, I mean, most of us can't even relate to this. Does fear disappear or does it simply change?
fear. I don't think I've had fear really. I am more eager to accomplish and accomplish more than ever. And I think that what it really opened is not really the I see what you mean by asking about the fear. I think what it really actually opened is the fear of if I die tomorrow, if I am able to do everything that I want to accomplish. And this is my biggest fear, the stagnation and potentially to miss opportunities. So that's why
Mm.
I'm trying to live my life as if every single day is your last one. So that is the fear that I live
Yeah.
with.
I mentioned the debut album, The Story of a Gunslinger, came out in September. It feels almost like watching a movie. Where did that Western concept come from?
Yeah, this is one of those, I guess, parts of growing up. And so originally, I wanted to actually make a music video for every song, which unfortunately it's not possible. Not
Mhm.
only for the time, but also the budget. But I guess this is a part that I always wanted to be in acting, but I'm a terrible actress, I believe. So it would not work anyway. I just am too real. I cannot fake much. So, but I love that little part of acting. So I wanted to create something that is not only audible but also visual, and so yeah, that's why. The reason why actually I thought it would be super cool to connect all the songs, or at least most of them, in the album is because I was very much so infatuated with the Crimson Idol by Wasp. Like the songs are
Yeah.
just blending into each other, and you just want to listen to the whole album instead of just a song at a time. So yeah, that's the concept was really influenced because of their concept, and of course there's many other albums we can go over like who did the same things, but yeah, the western part is because of that riding on a bike, especially through more southern areas where it's more deserty, etc. And plus we keep hearing at the biker bars all the foot stomping music. And then not to avoid, but I was always a big giant fan of Johnny Cash and this kind of style. So I think all of that somehow blended together and created DieveNoire.
You're sharing the stage coming up here with bands like Halestorm, The Pretty Reckless, The Offspring at Rockfest in Wisconsin later this month. As a fan yourself, is there anyone you're secretly excited to watch and see there?
None, honestly, because this is nothing of what I listen to. Never really listened to much of any of the bands on the roster. I'm very familiar with some of them, like Hailstorm. I know that Lizzie is insanely skilled,
Yeah.
but honestly, aside of Offspring, which was my guilty pleasure when I was 13, maybe 14, I just don't even know most of bands. I am not a fan of some of them, but there's always, people that just don't care for some, care for others. This is just not something that I've been in around as far as the music genre, so I'm just not very familiar anymore. I was always going for extreme music, extreme metal bands, and I still do, which is I know very very weird. That's like we belong to one genre that I don't know much about, not doing something else, but I cannot explain it. This is how it is, and I found out from our manager that yes, this is where you belong. This is where you're booking. It's like okay, so I know that we are way too light for any extreme music, and but every single one of us literally listens to extreme metal, so that's why we are definitely not influenced by anybody out there. But I'm very proud of every single one of them who made it, because if you are a starting musician, no matter who you are, you have to make all the steps to get there. So everybody that is in the lineup, people can talk shit about them, and I'm sorry, but they've made it. So I'm very proud of all of them.
Yeah. Lariyah, do you prefer the outdoor festival setting or the intimate club setting for performances?
As a musician, I prefer festivals because I get to target more people and I get to look in their eyes more. But as a fan, I prefer the more intimate ones because I get to be closer and I get to experience it better. So that changed a lot also over time. Like now that I'm older, I see the benefit of the smaller shows. But before it was just like I only need to go to the big ones and I want to be in the front and headbang with everybody. But now my first thought, like for example Hellfest that was happening, right? Imagine that there is one of your favorite bands playing and I need to go pee. Yeah, that's gonna suck. So
Mm.
that's why I was like, as a fan I prefer to see them in the smaller areas than festivals, but I love to play big ones for sure.
The story I was reading about you randomly meeting producer Jacob Herman in a New Orleans bar almost sounds fictional. What went through your mind when that chance encounter eventually became this album?
Yeah, it was very weird. I mean, we were, what's the proper way of saying shit face? We were quite drunk
Shit
over there,
faced.
and that was like, and that was like the one last stop because it's almost last day before we leave during Halloween, and my best friend Amber, she pointed at one random bar. She's like, "Screw it, let's go over here." And the moment she opened the door, it's like, oh yeah, we were staying here because there's a metalhead with very long hair playing pool, and that's what she does. She is a shark at pool. So this is where we were camping, and I had no idea who he was anyway. Later on, he added me and was like, oh, by the way, like I'm this and this guy. I was like, so you are behind In Flames and all the other bands that everybody know, like Meshuga. No, not Meshuga. What was the other guy? Oh, I suck at names. But yes, so most of pretty much Gothenburg's metal bands, plus way many more. And yeah, it's like he happened to be the guy, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that he will have an interest in me. And he goes like, oh, try me because I live in New Orleans most of my half or part time, so I know more than just metal. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about it. So I let him try with one song, and it was sold. Like the sound was insane. Like the way he distributes the sounds, it was just impeccable. And I've worked with other music producers before, and I've never heard anything like that. And the amount of time he puts towards you, it just comes from your heart. And a lot of people are like, okay, we're on a clock, I need this much more, and he'll give you a deal. And this is and of course I'm sure it varies by the band, but he was so stern to prove me wrong that I can do more than metal. I was like, okay, cool. So and he delivered more than I could expect. And of course, like he made so many changes because I actually put him in charge in the production of it as well, not just to mix and master. So he did so much to do the sound of DieveNoire that we have right now.
All right, I know you have some shows coming up, Chicago, Milwaukee before Rockfest in Wisconsin later this month. What's the plan for DieveNoire for the rest of this year?
So of course we're going to be booking many more shows. It's been quite of a difficult time right now because I had some obstacles with my work. I'm a tattoo artist and I had to change location. Our guitarist also is in the Legions of Doom, which is the Skull. Pretty known, especially in here and really across the world right now. Band. So he was busy with that. He was also writing an album for them as well. So I decided that it's probably better to start working on new material after the Rockfest, so that way we're freshly off the stage. It feels completely different, and everybody can actually pause for a moment from all the craziness over the summertime. So we're going to focus on the new stuff because I think that with the new musicians that we have, since we didn't have Paul on the bass, who also changed the sound like crazy. So we're gonna make this sound even more fuller and more defined to who we really are, to show the identity of our work together versus just me having the ideas for the album, which the story of the Gunslinger was. So I'm very excited to actually show something new, something different, and something, of course, better because now it's going to be all of us, not just a single person's idea.
DieveNoire. Check out their album that's out now, The Story of a Gunslinger. This video, I Don't Give a Fuck. And you can see them though doing shows and also Rockfest in Wisconsin. That's the weekend of July 18th this year. Lariyah from DieveNoire, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Follow them on social media too. And don't forget to subscribe to the Metal Queens podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Richards. Thanks for watching and for listening. I'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you so